Alright, challenge accepted. On my Don't Delete It, Complete It video, I made up a riff that I woke up, it was playing in my head, which is kind of nice sometimes. I'm sure you have songs playing in your head, but this is something that, this is not like a groundbreaking riff. This is just old rock and roll stuff. Kind of sloppy garage rock, which I really like. That's my thing. So I did just think about it, and I actually could visualize another big part of the song. So then I programmed it. I have a drum beat. I was trying to program. It's a little tricky, but I did get it close. It's a little lumpy. I think you can quantize your drum machine, for eighth notes, it'll be really tight, or quarter notes, very tight, or you can loosen it up, make it like 16th notes, gives you a little leeway to breathe, but I couldn't make it fit into that, so I had to go up to 24 on the quantize, so it's kind of got some looseness, whatever. Here it comes. Let's see if I can play it. I'm at 140 beats a minute. Maybe start with drums. It gives you time to pull your pants up a little bit and shake it off, get ready for the next tune. So here's how it goes. Not sure that's going to be exactly the way it goes, and I did change it up as I went, and I was thinking A to G sharp, but I actually should have gone to A in that first time. But the trick is to keep going. If you make a mistake, that's how you learn. Every time you make a little mistake, you can modify that just a little bit and or learn, hey man, don't go to the 4th fret. So, don't get all negative on me, man. So I got that basic repeating riff. Which you can put little variations in if you want, or keep it super tight and repetitive. I was playing with slight variations, and then I kind of turn it around on an A to an F sharp. So in the relation of B, that'd be like a 7 to a 5. A flatted 7 to a 5. A to F sharp. I was kind of picturing those chords really ringing out like an immaculate, like a full ringing chord on those, not just power chords. I want the full spectrum. Okay, so that's, expands on that basic riff I woke up with in my head. And then, so if we go A, F sharp, it could step down to E, which would be the 4 of B. The fourth note in a B major scale is E. So I go to the 4 chord. So again, it was the 1 was the main riff, and then we got our flatted 7 to the 5. And then for our like B section, it's I kind of changed keys to E major. So how did that happen? I think it just kind of shifted. You can do that. It's kind of like maybe a pivot point. I pivoted to the key of E. And this is really fun. Once you find yourself in another key, it's like, great, man, now we're in the key of E. But then at some point you're like, hey, we got to go back home. So you have to bring it back to the original key. And then you kind of modulate or pivot somehow back to the key of B. So I was doing an E to C sharp minor. So if we're in the key of E, that's a 1 to the 6, which is kind of like G to E minor. Just kind of your old Puff the Magic Dragon kind of chord or something. Or, Last Kiss or whatever. I Will Always Love You. All that Greasy Kid stuff. It's really common. It's very poppy and very, It's kind of like, if you hear a band playing angry, dissonant, out of key, weird, science lab, abstract, mathematical, tortured, dissonant chord progressions, you're like, wow, man, that riff is really sick. And like, oh man, more sick riffs. And then you contrast it with something kind of sweet, like the 1 to 6, like I was saying. That can be pretty refreshing, even though, yes, it's a cliche, it's old, tired stuff, but still, hey, if it's so popular, it must have some value. So I'm going to use that as kind of to sweeten up this kind of mean-sounding riff. Now, I'm like, hey, we're gone too long from our key. The initial key was B, so like, we got to go home. How are we going to get home? So I'm C sharp. I'm going to jump to this G, which is like, that's a jump. That doesn't make any sense, but you can really do anything you want. Music theory says that's out of key, but my ear says that's cool. So I can use that if I want. You can play any chord you like. That's what's beautiful about this. You don't have to follow the rules, but it's nice to know the rules so you know that you're breaking them. So here's our C sharp minor to a G to F sharp dominant 7, which is the 5 chord of B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 5 chord is the device you use to pivot back to your root or tonal center of B. So that's how I modulate, and I find, remember, you got to find the 5, or you don't have to, but it really works. The 5 will slam you back to the 1, so it makes sense. All right, let me do it again, and now you know what I'm thinking as I slap these chords together. So I'm not really going to worry about a bridge or a solo right now. Mainly, I just want to get the architecture of the chord figure. Then I can write it out in my notebook. And then if you want more info on that, we can keep talking about it. Maybe we'll get to the solo part. And you can sure borrow this if you want, or be inspired by it, or whatever. I might complete it and put it on an album if I really like it, or who knows. I mean, this is kind of how it works. So let's do it again, just for fun. Maybe I'll go. Could do a wham, 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 wham. Kind of a cliche, but at least you would know we're really ending the song. You know, if the song just sort of dribbles away, it's kind of like, that was good, I guess. But if you really spank the ending, have a very distinct ending, and the band is tight, it might go over a little better. So it's nice to have a good intro, a good ending, and maybe some little variations. So again, I'm kind of changing that main riff a little bit, and I decided to do some tension on that G to F sharp, bring it up high, and then I ended with a wham, 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 which is pretty cheesy. G, A, B, G, A, B for the ending. I'm not sure I love that, but again, I am completing it. Is it perfect? Is it the best? I don't think so. But I am going to think about it, and I can always change any part I want. But for this moment, I'm going to commit to this and say this. Maybe I'll go down in my studio and lay it down and actually play the drums. So yeah, I can play really basic drum beats, and that helps me understand and respect timing. It's kind of nice. All right, man. Thanks for, asking about me finishing that. And if you want, I can try it again and see if I can improve on that. And you can definitely borrow the idea or the process, or tell me about how you write. If you write your own stuff, how do you get it done? Do you have a method? Do you have a process? I just kind of just go with my instinct, and but I do know how to fit things together. All right, thanks for letting me work on that today. Good suggestion. I appreciate the comments, and like I said, I'm not AI. I am a real guy. So subscribe, and I do thank you. Keep practicing.